Alrighty, y'all, what's up? Today I'm going to be going over this Ignite, I guess, Fire Forge Guard build that I kind of just cooked up for the new season of last Epoch. If you're new to playing this game, buckle up, I guess. I'm not going to take too much time. I don't really have like the exact equipment, but I'm just going to go over kind of the passives and the skills and which passive abilities to use on those skills real quick. So yeah, let's get into it real quick. So basically, you're going to start off on this Sentinel tree right here. You're going to take 8 into Juggernaut, which is going to give you strength and really good res on fire and void res. Pretty simple. You're going to move on to here. And you're going to put about 7, or you're going to put 7 points into Relentless. That'll give you 35% damage increase and plus 350 to stun avoidance. And then finally, on this passive tree for Sentinel, you're going to put 5 into Time and Fate, which is going to give you regain mana and some of your health when you're using Rive, which is going to be one of the abilities. As you see, you get 10% health gained and 10 mana gained. Alright, moving into the Forge Guard tree itself, some of the passives you get is 35% physical and fire res off rip for being a Forge Guard mastery. And on top of that, you also get 3% increased armor for each time you have been hit and have been taken in the last 10 seconds. So as you can tell, this build is very tanky, which is really nice. So you'll be able to, not get killed very easily, especially going into like late game shit. You should be doing good. This is in no particular order. As you see, a lot of this is going to be in the front half of the tree. A lot of this stuff has a lot to do with like armor for some of your minions and shit. I could have went the route of using more of the forged swords for this build, but I chose to go a little bit of a different route. We're still going to have some forged weapons, and we're going to have manifest armor as one of our skills, but this build mainly revolves around igniting and doing a lot of fire damage. So yeah, well, here's one of the armor nodes we're going to take. We're going to put 9 into this, which is going to give us 54% increased armor when hit and 36% plus 36% of physical res. So that'll be really nice. You're going to want to put 10 in the weapons master. That's going to give you plus 10 strength. Also on top of that, or not on top of that, but as you see, there's certain things that it will not scale with. You're going to want to do 10 into Fresh from the Forge. That's going to be really good for this. You're going to get plus 10 to your melee physical damage and plus 10 to your melee fire damage. Obviously, this build doesn't use throwing skills, so those don't really count. But it is nice to get the extra fire and physical damage. You're forced to put 1 into this so that we can get to this next skill. So put 1 into this Peltis, I think that's what it is. This is not really going to help us at all because we're not doing throwing, but it is to get here, which it says, ooh, I didn't read that. Okay, scratch that. You actually don't need to do that. I don't want to restart this whole video. You actually don't need to put that there. Because there is no throwing attack. So you can actually take all the points out of that. And where you're actually going to want to put these points at, in my opinion, is you're going to want to put... This was actually something I was trying to work on, but I didn't realize this was for throwing attacks. So actually don't do any of that. You can either put... I think what I want to do... But let's actually just continue. So put 10 into this. You're going to put 8 into this right here, which is, as you see, is going to give you 80% increased critical chance with two-handers. So you're going to want to run a two-hander for this build to make sure you're getting the crit chance, right? You're also going to come down here because this is going to give you 70% chance to ignite. And on top of that, you're also going to be getting 70% chance to bleed, which is, not really needed, but it is cool that we can now stack ignite and bleed, with all our skills. Not needed, but it's mainly for the ignite, but it's still cool. Also right here, you're going to want to put 5 into hammer and anvil. That's going to give you 100% armor shred chance, which is really good, right? I think, honestly, with these last 7 points, actually, let me do this real quick. So you're also going to put 8 into Avatar War, which is going to give you, as you see, 64% increased fire damage and 64% increased physical damage. But now for these last 7 points, now that I have some, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 into here to finish off Battle Hardened. I'm going to put 4 Ooh, we can't put 4 into that. Dang, they got so much shit that's connected. My fault, y'all. I didn't realize that this was for throwing attacks only. I would have never done that. Um, I think for the time being, I think honestly, like you could really throw these last 6 anywhere that you find helpful for your build. Um, but I think because the crit chance could be nice, I say we put like 1 into here, put like 4 into here at least, and then I think we put the last one right here to get that 10% increased critical melee critical multiplier. Um, so yeah, something like this along these lines. You don't have to exactly do these last 7 that I put right here, but everything else that you see definitely do. Um, but I think this is a good thing right here because that 60% increased melee critical strike chance combined with the fact that you're already getting increased critical chance with two-handers by 80%, I think that'll be fantastic for like doing tons of crit damage, right? And then just add this on for the 10% critical strike multiplier. We don't do anything in the Void Knight tree, but we do go over the Paladin, which is going to be very important for this build as well. As you know, Paladin does a lot of fire damage as well. Um, you're going to want to do 8 in the Conviction. The lightning damage isn't going to be useful at all, but as you see, you're going to get 32% increased physical damage, 32% increased fire damage, 16% physical penetration, and 16% fire penetration. Just to add on to that fire and physical damage, because this build is all about fire and physical damage, obviously. Also, you're going to want to put 8 into Defiance. This is going to give you plus 8 to Attunement. If you don't know, grants you mana and improves skills that use magic. We don't use magic, but it is nice to get some extra mana. But the big part of this is we're getting plus 24 to all elemental resistances. So that'll be, as you see on the left over here, cold and lightning. And fire. Anything that's elemental, those top 3. And the last thing we're going to be putting on here is 10 out of 10 on Phoenix Strike, which is going to give us plus 120% Ignite chance. So we're going to be putting on tons and tons and tons of Ignite stacks, which is good. So, like I said, everything else pretty good. I kind of messed up on this part right here at the beginning here. My fault. Do something along these lines. You can kind of use those last 7 as you please wherever you want to. Let's go into the skills now. So the first skill you're going to get is Rive. This is where a lot of Ignite is going to be happening. You're going to put 4 into Champion here. That's going to give you 32% increased damage and 40% increased stun. Do 3 in the Bound Weapon, which is going to give you a chance to spawn in some Forge weapons on kill, or when you're hitting a boss. But the main reason you're doing these 3 is to get right here to Foe Cleaver, which as you see, if you're using a 2-handed weapon, stats on that weapon that directly add damage or increase damage, or add a chance to an ailment on hit, have double effect for Rive. So as you see, 100% effective damage stats on 2-handed weapons, and plus 100% to effects of ailment chance stats on a 2-handed weapon. We're doing a lot of Ignite, so this is very helpful. We're going to put 3 in the Sever, which is 150% chance that Rive's first strike has a chance to Ignite. You're going to put 3 out of 3 on Twisting Fangs, which is Rive's second chance strike has a chance to Ignite 150%. Then you can put 3 on the Savagery, which is Rive's hits deal more damage to ignited targets, right? So, as like this will be better for like bosses, really, because you're going to constantly be putting more and more and more Ignite stacks on them. So that means you're just going to keep doing more damage each time you hit them with Rive. You're also going to put 1 in the Flame Drinker's Blade, which, as you see, Rive's third strike consumes all stacks of Ignite you apply to the enemy and its hit, granting you a buff that grants physical penetration per stack consume up to a maximum of 20 stacks, as you see. And when you consume this, you're also going to get this thing called Assassin's Sustenance, which is going to give you, as you see down there, 3% damage leech as health. So as a build that's going to be in the mix of everything, it's going to be really nice to get this health back on every third strike if you arrive. But yeah, I think the other thing I did was I put 1 over here because there's just 1 left. Your third strike deals more damage in a larger area. So moving on to Forge Strike, which is the other main ability of this whole entire class. This is where you're going to get a lot of fire damage as well. You're going to go down here, put 5 in the Heavy Strike, 75% damage, 75% increased stun chance. You put 1 into this to Glide Strike, which, as you see, more hits, damage against rares and bosses, plus 25%. Nice little multiplier. You just need to put 1 into Engines of War to get this next node. You're going to put 5 into Temper, which, as you see, deals additional melee fire damage and more fire damage, as you see. And then this is where it gets kind of cool, and I think this is going to be really good for AoE damage, is Detonating Ground. As you see, Forge Strike causes Detonating Ground, which sends out cracks, which erupt after 1.5 seconds, dealing melee fire damage and igniting enemies. I decided to buff this all the way up, giving you Detonating Ground has a chance to ignite enemies on hit, 300%, and 30% increased ignite duration. Plus, did 4 into here, Detonating Ground deals more damage, 160% extra damage. Really good. This is going to do a lot of fire damage, and it also help you with ignite. Now, once we get down to lunge, I'm going to show you why I feel like this could be very OP and the clear could be really nice. I wanted to run Manifest Armor because I think it's just nice to have the companion with you. It doesn't matter which way you want to go on here first, but I kind of kept the fire theme going. You could really go whichever way you want first, but if you want to go this way, you can do this. Take 1 into Iron Grasp, 4 into the Redistributed Steel, which is going to give you plus 60% damage for your minion, but minus 24% armor. We'll get into how to fix that. But you'll get to equip the sword on your guy, your Manifest Armor, which is good. But the way you fix this is right here. Look, Manifest Armor gains increased effective stats from your own body armor by plus 80% stats from your armor. So as long as you have good armor, this minus 24 is not going to matter much. You're going to put 2 into Great Helmet, stats from helmet 100 plus 120%. This right here, Burning Armor 5 out of 5. Manifest Armor deals additional melee and spell fire damage as well as more fire damage. And on top of that, 5 out of 5 on this, gives it your Manifest Armor companion to have a 200% ignite chance. So, like I said, this build is really mainly around, hey, how many stacks of ignite can I stack at once? Which I think is going to be really fun to play on. It's just going to be like a lot of ignition, which should melt things like quickly. And I think mixed in with this Detonating Ground, I think the clear on this build should be pretty damn good, I think. But yeah, moving on to the next one, Ring of Shield. This is going to be like your primary defensive ability here. The cool thing with this is it also is going to be doing fire shit. Watch this. So you're going to put 5 out of 5 on here. Shields have increased health and additional physical resistance. You want to make sure that's maxed out. Plus 100% health and plus 50% physical res. You're going to put 1 into Molten Shields, obviously, right here. And this is just where I went to town. So, as you see here, Molten Shields. Shields take less fire damage and have a chance to ignite enemies that hit them. It says if you have the collateral damage node, that base physical damage. Okay, we don't have that. I don't know why I read that. So you're then going to pick Immolation. Shields now emanate Forged Flames, dealing fire damage over time to surrounding enemies. And then you're going to put 4 out of 4 in this, which shields now deal more damage and they spin faster. Not really sure what the shields rotating faster has to do with anything, but who knows. But it does more damage. Then you can put 5 out of 5 in Touched by Fire. You deal additional fire damage with spells and attacks if you have cast a Ring of Shields recently, which is in the last 4 seconds. So you'll do plus 15 damage, additional fire damage. And on top of that, 3 out of 3 into Breathe and Flame. You do increased melee fire damage if you have cast a Ring recently. So it's just stacking a bunch of melee fire damage and normal fire damage. And then for the last one, I just put 1 node into this, which is actually going to grant you 1 additional shield, which is really nice. So not only is this ability going to be nice for defense, but you're going to also be doing a lot more fire damage on top of that. And moving into the last skill here, Lunge. This is going to be your main like movement skill, kind of to get around pretty quickly. And it's still pretty good. Watch. So 5 out of 5 on Dawn Charge. You're going to regain a percentage of your missing health when you use Lunge. So if you have to get away quickly, you're going to gain 40% of your missing health. Pretty good. You're going to put 1 into Warrior's Renewal. You don't really need this. It's going to kind of help with cooldown, but the cooldown's not even that crazy. It's literally 4 seconds. So, whatever, right? You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be lunging around that damn quick. You're going to be putting 5 into this one that initiates Onslaught. This is going to give you 250% plus maximum damage, 100% plus maximum area. And this is going to help with what I'm about to show in a second. You're going to put 3 out of 3 in the Call of the Week. which is gonna instantly kill enemies who are at a 15% kill threshold. So, I'll show you why this is good in a second. While you're over here, put 1 into Holy Incursion, which is going to give you a chance to cast Smite up to 3 nearby targets based on distance traveled to maximum. Smite is good because I'm pretty sure Smite... I did not mean to hit my Windows button. I'm pretty sure Smite... Yeah, Holy Incursion. Pretty sure Smite should heal you. Or maybe not. I can't remember. It's been a quick minute since I played Paladin. But it is good to have. I'm pretty sure Smite heals you. Okay, then either way, you're going to put 4 into Reckless Skirmish, which is killing an enemy with lunge grants you Frenzy for a short duration. I max this out, so for 4 seconds. Frenzy is pretty much going to make your attack speed and your movement speed quicker. And then moving into the most important part of kind of what wraps this build together is this node right here. Ready or not. Killing an enemy with lunge resets the cooldown of Void Cleave, Erasing Strike, Forward Strike, and Judgment. The only one that matters here is Forward Strike, obviously. The reason why I say this is good is because, boom, right? You can Forward Strike a pack, lunge to the next pack, kill an enemy, and then you'll already have Forward Strike ready to use again. And you can keep continuing the process as long as you're killing somebody with lunging strike. And that's why I said it's very important to make sure we have this maximum damage, right? Lunge's final hit deals more damage, right? You just want to make sure you're doing the most damage possible. So yeah, as long as you can move from pack to pack and you're killing people in those packs, you're going to have Forward Strike on repeat. And you're just going to constantly keep doing ignition, fire damage, and yeah. And I think for bossing, I think the smart way to do this is hit them with Rive until you activate this to consume all your stacks. Hit them with Forward Strike. And then just repeat between these two. Obviously, you're not going to one-tap a boss with Lunge, so that doesn't matter. And obviously, you'll have your Manifest Armor around with you too, and Ring of Shields when needed. So overall, I feel like this build could be really good for not only AoE damage, single target, it's tanky as shit as you're playing Forge Guard, and your movement should be pretty good. The things to remember are just, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what I was going to say. Either way, I feel like this build's going to be really good for single target AoE and movement and defense. So, yeah, man, you get some good physical reses and good armor on this class as well, as on top of all that. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all stopping by. I apologize for the little mix-up on the skill tree there earlier, but hopefully Season 2 is going to be a blast. I'm excited. I just got done playing Po 2's new season, or league, for a while here, so I'm ready to get back into last Epoch. I had played it when it first launched, and I played it for Season 1 a little bit. But yeah, hopefully if you're new to the game, we can get a lot more people playing it, because I genuinely think it's a really fun game. They have a cool idea with it. But yeah, appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure you leave a like and a sub if you enjoyed this. I'm going to have some live streams and gameplay coming up soon. And yeah, see you later. Peace.